Hey, welcome to another Geekish podcast, and for the first time, the video edition of the podcast. This whole being at home thing, meaning we're trying out the new technology. So hey, we figured we'd jump on the whole bandwagon too. So now you can see it's Bino and Derek for the Get Geekish podcast.
It forced us to do something that we've been talking about for months.
Yeah, it's procrastination is a great motivator. But we've been doing these podcasts in isolation for almost a month now, and now we're actually going to be able to kind of see each other's reactions, so it might make it flow a little better.
That's one of the hard parts is, we're still going to have a little bit of a lag, but at least I can see kind of if you're like getting ready to talk or something like that. So that'll work.
And if I give you the evil eyebrow, you know it's coming.
Yeah, that's true.
But this week we decided to talk about something that we could reminisce on a little bit, because getting old kind of sucks. Now, this isn't going to turn into one of those like 20 minutes of complaining about all the things I wish I could do when I was younger and kids don't know what they've got good. But things change as you get older. There's things you could do when you were a kid that as an adult now, it's kind of just impossible.
Not necessarily impossible either, but sometimes it's just like.
And sometimes it's impossible, depending what we're talking.
That's true.
Let's start with your first example, because that one's definitely not impossible, but this is what got our whole topic going on.
So I don't know why, but sometimes I get it in, that gamer itch where I just need to sit through and play a game. And you and I know, like years ago playing, we would be playing going, oh my gosh, it's 3:00 in the morning. And then we'd go to bed and then wake up at 7 or 8 or 9, time before kids and all that jazz. For some reason, last night, I wasn't paying attention at the time. I'm playing the new Doom, and then I beat it. I'm like, all right, I feel accomplished. I look down, and it's 3:00 in the morning. And that's when I had the existential dread of, oh, God, I'm going to feel this tomorrow or today, rather. So
yes. That was a weekly, sometimes nightly occurrence through most of, I would say, elementary, middle school, probably going into high school. I remember when I was very young, when I got my Sega Master System, I'd play Transbot, and it would just start a game around 7, 8 o'clock at night, and hear my parents say, it's time for bed, okay, and keep playing, and then it's 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, you're like, oh, whoops, I should probably go to bed. And then as I got older, it just kept happening. Other games, and start playing. I'm playing Joe Montana Sports Talk Football until the sun came up, and Toe Jam and Earl was a great time sucker of a game, because you wanted to play Toe Jam and Earl, get that last level, you had to commit like 8 to 10 hours to make that happen.
Yeah, it was definitely. I mean, there's times where I would pull all-nighters playing, and like when the Halo 2 launched, we stayed up for the midnight launch of that, and then stayed up till I think 5 or 6 in the morning playing it. But it was just one of those ones last night. I was like, oh man. I mean, we have a 5-month-old who does not sleep in, so I knew it was going to be real rough. Going to bed at 3 and then.
It is rough. One of those things for anyone that is younger. We're starting to get a little bit older. Enjoy that, because when you're younger, do that stuff. You're like, oh, I'll be tired tomorrow. No big deal. My age now, when that happens, like, oh, this is going to hurt for like 3 or 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel so bad about it. What happened? Oh, I stayed up till 1 last night. Oh, really? That's
Luckily, I got to take like a half an hour nap today. So,
I need my sleepy sleeps.
Right. Well, something else too is usually what coincides with staying up late is the binge eating of junk food and then feeling great the next day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, but if I have, too much junk food, my body's like, you're going to pay for that. And it's just really rough.
Yes. And I feel bad, because I was always known for that kind of stomach of steel of, I was the, hey, Mike, you'll eat it. But it was, hey, Pino will eat it, of anything. As long as it wasn't seafood, like I'd finish stuff off and have no problems at all. That really threw me off, because your drink just disappeared with your background.
Magic.
But I'm not going to say I'm a super healthy eater. I do like my fruits and vegetables, but it's not like I'm a super organic vegan superfood kind of guy. But if I eat a lot of junk food now, if I eat a large bag of Doritos and a couple sodas, my stomach's not feeling right to go to bed. You start thinking that, man, do I have some Rolaids, before you think about if you're going to get what you're going to get for dinner. And I remember one of the only times food ever got to me when I was a kid. I was probably 8, 10, somewhere like that. Staying up for New Year's by myself because I was one of those cool kids. And I had a supersized family bag of Doritos and a 2-liter Mountain Dew. And that was all, 110-pound meat ate from 7 p.m. to midnight or so. And I finished the whole bag and the whole 2-liter. And I didn't feel so great the next day.
I would imagine.
But outside of that, it was never a problem. You have the all-night binges playing Toe Jam and Earl. We had a chair made out of soda. Me and some of my buddies in high school bought a bunch of 6-packs of generic Safeway brand soda, like stacks and stacks of it, hundreds of cans. So much we made a chair you could sit under the cans. So you'd sit there, be playing games, going through some chips, having some chicken nuggets, have some of this, and go through 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sodas throughout the night. And it's no big deal. Yeah, you go to bed, wake up the next day, you feel fine. And it doesn't work that way anymore. It makes me sad. Because sometimes there's nothing more than I like to go get a bag of pork rinds and a couple of Jolt Colas and see where the night goes. But
well, and you do a yearly thing of going to Rodizio, and I'm pretty sure that's starting to take its toll. Like,
if you don't know what Rodizio is, it's a Brazilian grill. It's an all-you-can-eat place where the gauchos come by in their pants and take slices of meat and put them on your plate. All you can eat. One of my dreams. I used to go, and it was almost like a mission of, okay, how many times can I make these guys come back to the table? And now it's a mission to, man, I hope I can try everything at least once before I get sick. The old metabolism, slowing down a little bit.
That used to be a huge thing when we were in radio, was our Christmas parties would be there. So it was, like, yeah, let's just go all out. And the last time I went there with, like, my parents, they were like, oh, let's go out to eat to Rodizio. I was like, all right. I started eating. I was like, oh, I know my limits. I can't do this. I can't. The meat sweats is something I don't like dealing with anymore. So
yeah, the meat sweats, that's when you've gone just a little too far.
Another
one that I used to do, I feel like this should be embarrassing, or a doctor might call me out this, but I loved Oreo cereal before Oreo cereal was a thing. So I would take a sleeve of Oreo cookies and crumble them up in a big bowl, fill it up with milk, and then eat it with a spoon. That was a snack for me. A sleeve of Oreos. That might explain some of my eating tendencies now. But, hey.
Well, and it's just funny, too, because, like, with our kids, before this whole thing went down, we'd go to the trampoline park, Urban Air or whatever. And I remember, growing up, my friends had a trampoline. You could just jump for hours on that. Now it's like we're winded after 5 minutes. If that, you're like, oh, jeez.
Yeah, like, how long's it been? 10 minutes? Oh, boy, how long are we here for?
Another hour?
And then, of course, comes the dreaded next day after something like a trampoline park. You wake up in the morning and, like, every joint in your neck is going, what have you done? You're not going to stand upright today, are you?
When I was thinking I think that was like the last time you and I went snowboarding. We felt great that day, and on the going home, we're like, oh, I'm a little tired. And then the next day, it was just like stiff as a board. You're like, oh my god, I can't move.
Remember the days when you were a kid, like in middle school, you come back, you crash on their dirt hills on your bike, fall down a rocky hill, play some tag of football. The next day, you're like, oh yeah, my leg kind of hurts. What happened? You crashed on my bike 4 times yesterday. And now you're like, I look left too quickly and my neck hurts for a week. Or you fall asleep on the couch before bed, then you can't move your right arm for a couple hours.
Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed is, like, being a kid and everything like that, playing, you'd have that, kind of like gamer double chin thing going on. If I slouch on the couch for too long now, my head starts hurting. And I'm like, oh, where's the painkillers? I need it.
As an adult now, like, I got a big night of gaming ahead of me. Got to get my blue light blocking glasses, get a back brace, make sure I get my Posturepedic chair, and maybe some Tums and Rolaids off the side. Let's do this for an hour.
Honey, do you want a beer? No, I need to drink water. I need to stay hydrated.
I need some electrolytes. I know one thing that caught me off guard a lot when I play games as a kid is I would stop blinking.
Mm-hmm.
I think you notice that too, because when I play games a lot, I get really, really red, dry eyes. Everybody thinks horrible things about me because I look like a stoner all the time. But I'd find myself, because once we had a camera, I set it up, and I'd be playing like Final Fantasy VII, and you put it on there, and like, I've gone 3-4 minutes without blinking. What is wrong with me? And it just gets into that zone, and all of a sudden you realize, like, oh, I'm not sure I can blink my eyes. Like, oh, okay, there's some water. We're good.
The game that was the worst of that for me was like Rock Band or Guitar Hero. You're just sitting there staring at the notes, not even focusing, and all of a sudden you're like, oh.
Something's wrong. I miss one of the things I miss from childhood is the sheer excitement of just going to like a toy store. Like a lot of kids today don't have as much because there's not as many cool toy stores. Even the big ones are shutting down. So there's the toy aisle, which isn't quite the same effect. But I watch when my daughter goes down, she gets so excited. And as a parent, you're like, this is so stupid. Why are we here? But I always think back to that feeling of just wandering around KB Toys when I was 10 years old. Was as good as Disneyland for the most part, just looking at everything. Wow, oh, cool. I wish I had that. Now, even when there's a toy store, there's like 4 different places I want to go to. And the only thought is pretty much like, is there something new and cool, or can I afford this? Or, wow, I can't afford any of this. And it's almost depressing. You're like, instead of the wonder and amazement of, look at all these cool things I can have. I want this and this and this. Like, wow, look at all these things I could have if I was like a billionaire.
Well, and the thing is, too, it is, I'm right there with you. KB Toys, just like the smell, the feel of it. When you're going to the mall, you see it, you're like, oh, yes. My grandma during the summer, she used to watch us a couple days a week. And it was a treat. We'd go out to eat like McDonald's or something like that. And then we'd go to, I don't know, Walmart, Target, the mall to pick out a toy. And she'd always give us like a $10 limit or something like that. And she still makes fun of me for it now. She's like, you used to take so long picking out a toy. I was like, well, there were so many choices. You gave me a limit. I had to sit there and decide which one I wanted. And it was that, like you're saying, that sheer like just joy of going, okay, I saw the commercial for that one. Looks kind of cool, but the kids weren't into it. I like that one. Do I want to spend my money on it though? This pushing the limit. I can get 2 of these type of thing. Now when you go, you're like, I have my own money. You're like, I can get that. It's just going to stay in the box, go up on the wall or something, have to explain to my kids why we bought a toy and we're not going to play with it.
Yeah, we have that conversation a lot in our house.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that I miss being an adult is the fact that no matter what you do, you can go anywhere, do anything. And if you get tired, you just cash out. Somebody carries you home, puts you in bed. Like, how great would that be now? Because there's times you go to do stuff and this makes me sound so lame. I'm sorry. Like, if you're going out in downtown Denver or something like that for a night, you got to kind of plan ahead. Like, all right, how late are we going to be somewhere? Got to figure out the ride home, the gas. Like, okay, if we're going to go do dinner at 8 and then go hit somewhere else at 9. I'm like, ooh, yeah, I'll be back by 1. I'll be able to pull that off. We might make that happen.
Oh, dude, do you remember how, like, we used to have to calculate that all the time when we were working in radio? And, like, I was doing the morning show or you were doing the morning show. Like, all right, so this show is at, doors starts at 9.
First band will go on at 10. Then, headliners at 12:30. That gets me home by 3. Got to be up for work at 4:45. Oh, man.
See, and that's another thing, too, is I don't know if I could do that anymore.
No.
Like, just getting because I still got like 4 hours of sleep last night. Just getting that is, I'm still like, I'm glad I didn't have to work today.
I feel like those you could power through in your late teens and 20s and things like that. You could power through no matter how much you didn't sleep. You could make it through a day if you only slept an hour or 2 a night. You could even go through the whole week. At a lot of college, I think I averaged 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night. But then when the weekend had rolled on, you just sleep until 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday, and you felt great again. Doesn't work that way anymore. There's no making up once you don't have enough sleep. You're just in a bad, cranky mood.
Well, I think too, like you kind of, my arm keeps disappearing. I'm the invisible man. You kind of hit it with the whole like cashing out and somebody's taking care of you type of thing, is just the lack of responsibility, not having to have those decisions of, hey, what do you want to do tonight? Oh, we need to go do this, 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 and this, and be responsible and obligated and everything like that. As a kid, your parents are like, we're going to somebody's house. You're like, oh. And then you'd go do your own thing. You wouldn't have to worry about anything. They just had to make sure you're on your best behavior, not to embarrass your parents. And then on the way home, you got to pass out, fall asleep, or play on the Game Boy and do whatever. And then that was it. now it's like, got to drive, we're stuck in traffic. And when I was a kid and stuck in traffic, I didn't care as long as I had batteries for my Game Boy or Game Gear. When I ran out, that was a problem. But
And I don't want to like say it's easy being a kid, because being a kid is a whole different set of
true.
problems to go on with. But the no responsibility thing is nice, because it like you hit it on the head. Your life, you wake up, your responsibility is somebody's gonna feed you a couple times, and maybe you got to be back home by 4:00, and that's your responsibility for the day. And as a kid, one thing that I absolutely hated, but now as an adult I yearn for. How many times as a kid did you wander around and you were just begging for something to do? You were just picking up stuff like, okay, what am I going to do all day? I'm home for the next 6 hours. What am I going to do? And you just have to come up with something to entertain yourself.
Well, that was the thing too, is that was one thing that I learned real quick not to say, especially like at my grandma's house, was I'm bored. You say those words, my grandma had like, oh, you're bored? Okay, well, we need some sticks that need to be picked up, need to mop the kitchen, that type of stuff. And that started happening around my house. I was like, I'm going to go outside. I'm going to hit a tree with a stick. I'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm bored meant I'd like to clean something for you, Mom and Dad. Nope.
No, not at all. Well, I don't know. Are you dealing with that right now, being in quarantine? The whole, like, your daughter's like, so what are we going to do now? Is there something to do? Because that's what mine's doing. I'm like, what do you mean?
Not yet, and I feel horrible about it, because I think part of it means that we do so many things with her on a normal basis that we're almost a month into this, and she still hasn't got the urge, other than wanting to go get fast food or something like that. She has not even had a super urge. She wants to play with her friends, but she's not like chomping at the bit complaining about it. It's just like, okay, cool. She's got her iPad, she's got her games, she's got her Lego, she's got her toys. And she's that kid that most of the time, she makes friends easy. But if you give her the option to go somewhere or stay home, let's just stay home. So it's that part's easy for me so far. But I feel bad because all the anti-screen time parents, I don't even want to go into how much screen time she's had last month. I'm like,
we don't talk about it. I mean, can you imagine? That's another thing, is like the screen time thing, it's not necessarily a thing that we have to deal with now. I mean, you and I were on screens constantly for work and everything like that. Back in the day, it was like, don't sit too close to TV or go blind, or, whatever. You've been playing that video game for 2 hours, get off. Now it's like, again, I've been playing it for 7 hours. I should probably do something. But that's what it's like with my daughter. She's like, so what do you guys want to do? I'm like, you can play video games. She's like, oh, I can? Cool. Like, she's expecting, because, like, again, like you, we're so used to doing stuff together that now it's like we can't really do stuff. So she's like, so we're going to do stuff? I'm like, no, you can go play video games. Like, cool. Just want to make sure. I'm like, you're not going to hurt my feelings, but okay.
And I can't badmouth anybody either, because when I start thinking about, she's watching too much iPad, too much screen time, like today she walked out and she's got her Switch in her hand playing Animal Crossing or something. And she's like, hi, what's going on? And my first word's like, how long have you been playing that thing today? But I kept it inside because I realized I was still laying halfway on the couch and hadn't moved since 9 o'clock this morning. We watched 5 episodes of Star Trek Discovery. And I'm like, I can't tell her she can't have screen time because I haven't moved from this spot all day.
Well, and it's really hard too, because, like, again, like you said, when we were kids, I don't know about you, but like, you, especially if you get a new game, you either stay up all night or you wake up early and don't wake up your parents, and like sit there playing everything like that. So, I wake up, I'm like, how long have you been playing video games? I'm like, in my head, I'm like, no, it doesn't matter. You did your chores. You're doing your schooling during the week.
It's interesting. I was researching for some of the topics on this podcast, and a lot of things that other people wish that I could still do as an adult that I can't do as a kid. I feel like we may not have completely grown up, according to some people.
Well, I mean, that's obvious, right?
There's a lot of people like, I wish I could still rock that princess dress or wear a superhero costume anytime I want. Like, I probably have more photos of myself dressed up than I have in regular clothes. That still happens all the time. And the eating whatever the heck I want. Yeah, we can't eat as much as we want, but we still go into super hot, every kind of weird food we can get our hands on, we try it.
Well, and the thing is too, is I'll sit there and look in the mirror and go, oh man, what, my metabolism slowed down, everything like that. And then I'll step into the kitchen and be like, ate 8:30 p.m. is not too late for some Lucky Charms, and I'll just eat some.
I got the new Twinkie cereal, FYI. It's pretty good.
You do like the Twinkies.
Other one on this list here from Scoop Whoop. Watch cartoons. I still watch a good share of cartoons.
Yep.
I just got the little one watching The Simpsons this week, and I justify that because I still to this day think that at least 70% of my cultural knowledge of history and geography and social studies stuff came from The Simpsons. Because I'd see them so many times on those episodes, and if I didn't know what it was, I would go look up to find out so I'd get the joke. So if there's something that's happening in the episode, you go back later like, what was that all about? Who was that guy? You look at, oh, Alexander Graham Bell. I get that joke now. It's funny.
Pop culture.
So I'm justifying that. If she watches that, like, yeah, maybe a little above her grade level, but she might get some stuff out of it.
Well, the thing is, too, is we just a couple of years ago, you and I went to the local theater here for cartoons and cereal in the morning. So yeah, we haven't grown up, and I'm fully aware with that. And I'm fully okay with that. And you know what's great about that? Our wives are okay with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I figure all these. I mean, here's learn a dance step from a '90s music video. Isn't that pretty much all TikTok is?
Yeah.
And enjoying a trip to an amusement park. I still think I probably get more out of an amusement park than my kid does.
That's true.
But they're like, I want to go home. No, Dad's got 2 more roller coasters.
Well, I mean, honestly, the whole thing is now like a lot of places cater to our demographic of the adults who have not grown up yet. Target has that whole section of all those nerdy shirts, for crying out loud. You're wearing a nerdy shirt right now. I'm wearing a gamer shirt. Like,
what are you talking about, nerdy shirt?
Yeah, Magneto. That's not nerdy.
He's an adult supervillain.
Yeah, like I'm wearing an Overwatch shirt, wearing a NASA hat. Like it caters to us. Okay, we rule the world. Well, we don't, but we idly sit by with our snacks
as I Fight Dragons say, the geek shall inherit the earth.
There you go.
Ta-da!
There you
go. We could probably talk about this for hours, but I'm assuming we could probably start wrapping this podcast up. But what do you guys think of the new format? Do you like this little video interaction part of it?
It makes things better than me walking around feeling like that's another thing. At least we're not in the 90s, because me walking around on a phone doing this with a cord would have been horrible. So walking around with a cell phone, that's what I was doing. But now
I just picture you with a Zach Morris phone.
Oh yeah, the big brick.
I don't know if the battery would last long enough to do an entire podcast, though.
No, it wouldn't have, and it would have cost an arm and a leg.
But if you're watching, go and drop a comment down the comments below. Let us know something you wish that you could still do as an adult, or even a young adult, that you miss as being a child. Because this, again, is not bad-mouthing the youth of today or complaining about being old curmudgeonly people. It's just there's things that I miss that I can't do anymore. Or things that...
Or you can do them, but you end up paying a price.
Yes. The price gets a lot higher. But find us as other social medias too, at Geekish. We're Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all those places. We'll have to interact with you. That's what we do right now, right? This is how we interact with people. I'm so bummed out so many of the cons have been canceled this year. This was the first year I got tickets to San Diego Comic-Con to ever go, and it's been canceled till next year. So that makes me very sad. Usually go and make cosplay music videos and take photos of people. I can't do that, so I've got to live vicariously through people. So reach out at Geekish, right?
I like it.
And of course,
we'll make it work. We'll make it work.
We'll make it worth your while, or
something along those lines.
Hopefully. And thanks again to AIM Student Radio, of course, for broadcast our show on there. The airwaves as well means a lot to us, guys. Thanks. Do you see that? Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, it's that Geekish. Thanks for listening, and we will talk at you next week.